Good morning. I see that some folks have joined us. I am watching to see if the email has been sent out. It was sent twice, and I don't see it showing up at all this morning. So that might impact the experience for people, and I apologize for that. I don't know exactly what has happened that causes that to take place. I see that it has been sent twice. So, well, good morning. Glad that you could join us today. It is straight up on the hour, and so we will begin. And if you are on this morning, obviously, if you are, you can hear me. And so I'm getting reports from people that they did not see the email, and I just looked to see if it had been sent, and it has been sent not once but twice. And so it should have gone out. I watch it as well, and I didn't see it either. I always watch for that myself, and I did not see it. So I apologize for that. I don't know what I don't know what happened. A couple of weeks ago, we weren't able to send the email out because we had a DDoS attack that swept across the United States and blocked a whole bunch of stuff. And so maybe I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I had horrible internet connection issues last night, was not able to connect, and have no problem this morning. So just your typical technical kinds of things that for some reason seem to take place. Let me know, how does the screen look, and do I sound okay? Please announce yourself and let me know that you're here. Dana says the only email was from YouTube, and Beth says she's here from Boston. Good to have you, Beth. Joanna's here, and Sam, I see Sam there. So anyone else, if you are on, I see we have about 7 viewers this morning, so I'm a little disappointed. Apparently the email did not go out. Hopefully people will see it in the group. And if you are a member of the group, you should get a post that says that Eric has made a post in the group, and you should be able to see that. So hopefully that's working as it's supposed to. I'm being told that the sound sounds good. John, good morning. Good to have you on. Anyone else that needs to announce themselves today? I apologize deeply. It looks like we have failed to get the email where it was supposed to go, and I still don't see the email come up. And so rather than moan about that, let's get on with the show this morning, okay? I have some things I want to share with you. There's some things that we're going to go through, and I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions and see if there are things that I can do to help you as we go through this morning's webinar. Don't have a heavy schedule of stuff. There's nothing new that's come out today, so I'll walk you through what we have, okay? So let's take a look at the agenda that I have for today. The first thing I want to talk about is integrations. If you notice, I love this picture right here. And I'm going to talk about where that picture came from, and where you can get those and how you can use them, and working with our integration partners. And then I have another announcement about images in just a little bit, so we'll be taking a look at those. Francine from France, Francine, could you tell us if you got the email or if you just got a text? I'm just curious. Did you get that? And let me know as we move on. So I'll be talking about our integration partners and the places where we can get images and some other things that are going on and things that are relative to this time of the year. So we'll be talking about that as we go. I want to talk about prints because we have some incredible capabilities with prints, and I want to make sure that you get the right information about prints. I had forgot that I was working on that when we loaded up. So we'll be talking about prints and what you need to do with prints and what you can do when you're trying to create print quality kind of stuff. So we'll be looking at that as we go. And I'll be talking about print quality designs, because this is the time of the year when you use flyers and you use cards and you use those kinds of things. So we'll be talking about Usign and print quality products here in just a few minutes. And then I want to go over some tips and tricks. I've noticed that there's some things that we forget. And one of the things that comes up most frequently in the UZiners group is, how do I do this? And then as soon as you ask the question, you go, oh yeah, I remember how to do that. So we'll talk about the how do I this morning, and I'll give you some tips and some tricks and some things that it's easy to forget, things that might be important for you as we enter into this particular design season. Okay. Melissa from Wisconsin says she did not get an email. Went to the Facebook page to find the link there. I don't know what happened with the emails. We really don't have any idea. It shows that it has been sent twice, but it does not look like anyone received the email. I send the email to myself at the same time, and I didn't get a copy of it either. So we're going to do the best we can with what we have. And I'm deeply sorry for those people who did not get the email this morning. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the dashboard and some of the management tools that we have that are built in, and some places where you can get some things that sometimes we just forget about or didn't know were there, and I want to cover those. And then a lot of questions have come up about PageZine. So I'm going to mention PageZine this morning. I will talk just briefly about it because I love it. I think it is a great tool. I did a little informal survey not too long ago, and that informal survey was to find out how many people were using UZine as a business. How many people were using UZine as a business? Were they marketers that were using it to create marketing tools for clients? And so we discovered that more than half of the people who were on the call that day, and we had a large body of people there that day. I had actually, the email was delivered and everything went well. And with that, we discovered that a bunch of people were using UZine as a tool in their business. And so today we'll talk about PageZine, because that's a place where you can sell those design concepts and ideas, and you can attract attention to that. Okay. All right. Anyone else join us this morning that I need to recognize as we move to the next part? Branded text color is still just about available. It's still in the design area, and that's going to be amazing. When you see it, you'll go, man, that is going to be extremely helpful to me. But we can't show it to you yet because it has not passed through our design team's rigorous, and I mean that seriously rigorous, standard of making sure that things work properly before they are released into the public. We have several little enhancements that are undergoing right now, and that's one of the reasons why you're not seeing new stuff that's coming out all the time. And as soon as those things are all ready, we're going to release those, and you'll get an announcement about it, and we'll do a webinar about it, and you'll see some pretty amazing stuff that's happening in the very, very near future with UZine. That'll make it a more user-friendly experience for everyone. And some of these things that we talk about in tips and tricks, we are not going to forget anymore. And so that'll be amazing, and you'll enjoy that tremendously. And then this week we have released fresh stock photos, and hopefully you've gotten an email on that. I have not seen the email yet. Maybe that's the same issue that we were having before, but I haven't seen the email on that yet. Yes, guess what? The email just arrived in my email box. So hopefully that's a good sign, and we'll have some people who will join us here in just a few minutes. But that fresh stock photos, we did fresh stock photos 1 a while back and sold 1,000 copies of that within a week. And it is you have to remember that our team is from all over the world, and we have photographers all over the world. And so we have some amazing, amazing photo content that has been captured from all over. And to be able to use those amazing, unique photos that have been through our design teams, taking a look at those and enhancing them and making them the very best that they can possibly be. And if you see that, you certainly want to jump on that offer and take a look at that and see what UZine is making available to you now. Okay. All right. Any questions as we get ready to kick off here? Did anybody not get an opportunity to announce themselves, or anything else that we need to take care of before we jump into the things that I have for you this morning? All right. Yes, now the people are saying that the 2 emails just arrived. I do not know what happened. I send those out early, but I don't know. Okay. We're not gonna fuss about that anymore. I have fretted over the technology as much as I can tolerate. So let me switch back here, and I will. I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch my screen to our design screen, and we will. Oh, that's the last thing I wanted to do, was to show my face. So give me just a second. Do my best to not end up showing my face, and I do anyhow. All right. Give me just a second, and I'll get this plugged in where it's supposed to go. All right. You should be seeing my design board. Let me know if you're seeing my design board right there. That's my dashboard in Uzine. So stick with me as we take a look at this. So the first thing I want to talk about this morning from here is I want to talk about our integrations. I'm actually going to do this backwards. The first thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about this dashboard and how to take care of this dashboard, because I see interesting questions get asked all the time about this dashboard. So give me a chance here. Give me a chance to get my screen where I am happy with it, and we'll take a look, and we'll get started here. Give me just a second. We have a little awkwardness that's going on. I will give you a tech update. The reason why I have to send you the YouTube link instead of the normal registration link is because that's broken right now. And that is outside of our control. It's not something that's not a platform that we own or maintain. And I had numerous issues getting in this morning, and the announcement was made that it would be fixed sometime during the day today. So I felt like the best thing to do was to send you the YouTube link, and we would begin from there. So I don't have access to chat. I have to see it on a separate computer. So I actually have 2 computers running, and it makes it a little bit more difficult. And if you think that the image is slightly blurry, I have actually had a few people. I've actually had a few people say that their YouTube screen was slightly blurry, and I apologize for that. It used to be that YouTube actually made it clearer, and there seems to be some issues, but issues beyond our control, and not much that we can do about that. And Susan said that my yellow t-shirt is awfully bright. I do that on purpose, Susan. So, but thank you for recognizing the bright color of my yellow t-shirt. I'm glad that you continued and said awfully bright and didn't just say it was awful. Okay. So let's take a look here. Okay, the question is about diversity in the images, and I think that we have pretty good diversity. You have to remember some of our images come with our other partners, and that's the reason why we'll talk about integrations in just a little bit, our partner integrations. But I think we have some pretty good diversity. You have to remember we have a pretty diverse team, and we have some deep diversity here. So let's take a look at this dashboard. From this dashboard, this is where you find all of this information. Once you click on your design, this menu changes. But there's a couple of things here that we ran into last week, and I want to talk about briefly this morning. You have the ability to be able to create folders from here by simply pressing the plus key here, and it allows you to create a new folder. And this is a frequent frequently asked question. We get people who get a badge, and they're kind of surprised when they get their badge, and that badge often is awarded to people who have created 20 or more designs. And then we have another badge that comes out when you have done 50 designs. And so when you have created a design and you have saved it, you get recognized that you have accomplished that. Now, two things to keep in mind. There's two things that you can do. You can save a design, and you can then save that design as a template. Now, I frequently will, just for clarity's sake, because I don't want a whole bunch of designs. If I'm going to use it one time, then I'm not going to save it. I'm just simply going to download it. But if I'm going to use that same type of a design multiple times, or I'm going to come back and use it frequently, I'm going to save it and probably put it in a folder. Okay, I've got some folders that I've saved some things in. I'm going to save it in a folder. But the other thing that you can do is you can save it as a template. And if you save it as a template, and I'm going to do that right here, when you save that as a template, what happens is that when you go over to your templates, and we went over this briefly last week, and you click on my templates, you're going to see that is right here. So I now have saved that as a template. Okay. Now there's a couple of things I can do with that as a template. I can tag it. I can withdraw it. I can take it out as a template, and I can delete it. So those are my options. Now, when I go back over here to the design, because what will happen is after you get 50 or 100 or 200 designs that are saved, this starts getting awfully crowded, and it's difficult to find. So if you have a design that you really like, save it as a template. It makes a lot of sense to save it as a template. It's easier to retrieve as a template. It's easier to work with. Once you've saved that as a template, it's easier to find, and it's easy for you to work with. Then if you save it as a design, and this little button right here allows you to be able to share that. You can share that with a customer. You can share that with a client, have them take a look at it. Give me a second. Let me look at the questions, because it looks like a lot of stuff is coming up. Let's see. Somebody said that they changed the 720p HD, and it's clear as a bell. Okay, good. Glad to see that. Don't know, Sam. Don't know. That comes up in the group, and whenever you reach a certain milestone, you get awarded a badge, and the little badge pops up, and it's usually in this area right here. Will tell you that you've been awarded a badge, and it's kind of cool. So it's just to recognize how many designs that you've actually had and you've actually done. So I'm looking here to see when I save my Facebook covers, they're not as crisp. Is that normal? I have actually never seen that. I think that I think when we've done Facebook covers that they look really good. Sometimes there is an issue with Facebook when you transfer those into Facebook, and I've had that come up a time or two, that on my pages that I wasn't as happy with the logo or the cover design. I had it looking really good, and then when I loaded it into Facebook, I was a little disappointed in how Facebook treated it, but that doesn't make a whole lot of difference in the overall look of the design itself. Let me take a look here. I'm trying to read the questions as they come up. If my photo is too large, I can't use my background remover. Is that normal? Yes. The answer to that question is yes. If you get too large of an image, you will have an issue trying to remove the background, and that frequently happens. Okay, just remember that. You want to make sure that your image is small enough to be able to work well inside of that canvas that is available in the background removal tool. That is an incredible tool, but it has to have a smaller size image in it. I'm looking here carefully to see. Okay. All right. Let's move on then. So I want you to see the things that are available here. Don't forget this. You can rename the folder. You can push that folder out to a user. Now that's a helpful capability here. I can actually send that to a team member. I can send it to another user. I have a team member. This is my daughter. She works on my design team, and so I can push that to her. I can push it out to another user, another Uzine user, which, like some of you on here, I know, and I could actually push that design out to you so you could take a look at it, give me input, feedback, make adjustments or confirmations to that. When you're using Uzine as a business, this is an incredibly beneficial capability to be able to just send the entire like, for example, this was a logos thing. This was this was badges that you could share with someone else if that was in your design portfolio. So those are helpful. The other thing is that you can do the same thing here, but remember the save as template, which we did just a little bit ago. And I can mark this to share, and then that makes it available to my team member without doing anything else. So when I click on this, I now have made this shareable with my team members. Okay? Any questions about that design dashboard that we have there before we get into anything else? Yes, Sean, this is being recorded. They're always recorded, and while I'm out here, I'll show you where they're at. If you click on in this layout, before you get into the design canvas, when you're in this window, you click here and you click down here. Let's see, we've changed that now. That now says webinar, and that signs you up for the webinar. Where did the Support Pro platform go? I know they were working on that right here. That's the support platform, and those are available right there, okay? And right down here, you will see the webinar replays, all right? I always forget that they've changed that to help now instead of support. All right. Anything else here from this dashboard? Is that clear? I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle with this, but man, you're going to reach a point where this is going to almost become overwhelming. Your dashboard can get too full. You can use the folders here, but eventually the folders get full. If you save some of your favorite designs as templates, you'll be really happy. They'll be easy to find, and things will go very, very well. Okay? Any other questions before we leave this page? Because I just wanted to remind you, we've built a pretty awesome tool here, but sometimes it can seem to be a bit overwhelming. And when you get a whole bunch of designs in here, you run into issues of space and how do I find these things and how do I pull them up? And if you don't manage your experience as you go, you're going to run into some issues. So you've got the ability to be able to create folders, but don't forget you can also save those as a template. And if you save them as a template, then you can come back and work on it over and over and over again. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing that we have on our agenda, and that is I want to talk about some templates here. And I want you to notice that if you're a member of the Template Club, you're getting some new stuff here, okay? And you're getting seasonal templates. Do y'all see that? How cool is that? I mean, we're in the time of the year when this is going to be important. And you have the ability to be able to. Okay, somebody says, I'm having problems following your direction that I do not see the cursor when you say go to hear the word go to there. Okay. I will do the best I can of making sure that you can see where I'm at when I do this. Okay. So I'll go a little slower. I apologize. I get too fast sometimes, but you can see that we have built a bunch of new templates in here having to do with the season that we're in. And one of the great things about the Template Club is that they come up with all kinds of really, really cool designs that fit for the Christmas time of the year, or the Halloween time of the year, or the Independence Day, or whatever we happen to have going on. They'll always build some templates in here. And we've talked extensively about using the group tool to be able to grab some of these things and save them and use them at a later date. Okay, so I wanted you to see the templates that were available inside of the new templates. If you're a member of the Template Club, you will have new templates. As you can see them right here, you'll have new templates. And as those templates come in, I try to, people have asked frequently, so how do you find those? Well, you can sort them from the newest. Those are the ones that just got pushed out, and you'll see them right there. And then you'll have, or you can sort them from A to Z. The other thing that you can do is you can go over here and type in a word and search for it. And it'll tell me that there's 36 templates that are found. And then you go down here and take a look what kind of a template is that. And you'll notice that many of these fit in that category that I was talking about earlier, the print sizes. And so when you see custom size, you're talking about things that were designed for print covers sometimes, and sometimes they're product covers. But you've got all kinds of templates here designed specifically to help you for a particular season. And you can find them very easily by using your search term right there. Okay, let me check for questions here. You know, Bill's asking the question about becoming a member of the Template Club. And the best way to do that, Bill, would be to right here, just ask the question. And Rose will jump on this and give you access to becoming a member of the Template Club. That's the fastest and easiest way to take care of that. Okay? Okay, Essential Oils Pure, I do not have an answer to your question. I apologize. The Template Club and the Founders Club, I don't want to try to get into what you're supposed to have in either of those, so I don't get confused. I don't confuse you, or I don't say something that's not consistent with what's happening in sales. Okay, but I do want you to take a careful look at this, and I'm glad that you are a founder, and you got some really amazing tools by being on that founders team. Okay. All right, let's see. The next thing that we're going to do, let's grab a template and let's talk about some things here. So we'll take this template, we'll move it in, and we'll begin here. Are you all following along with me okay this morning? Make sure that this is a good experience for you. I need to make sure that we're getting a really good experience and that you're getting value from your time this morning. I always think that your time is important, and I want to make sure that we use it properly. Okay. So, any questions? Tyree Thomas, yeah, following along. Okay, good. This is and we're going to talk about how you can use those tools as this finishes loading up. So give it a second to load. Like I said, I'm having some internet connectivity issues today. Uh, I just think, first of all, my favorite time of the year is the fall. And so these things just become fascinating to me. I love the colors of the fall. I love the stuff that goes on with that. So, all right. I notice that we just went dead. Is anybody else with me? All right. Looks like yes, yes, yes. All right. Hang on. Hang on. Tell me if the audio has come back yet. This was another thing that was going on. So I want to find out, is the audio working okay? Okay, good. Glad you can still hear me. I know that there's always a temporary hiccup in the audio, and right at about this time. So thank you for sticking with me and letting me know what was going on. Let's see, this is a postcard. So when you click on, and people forget that this is here, when you click on your sizes here, and you go down to prints, you have all kinds of options. And I mean that literally, you have all kinds of options here. We try to give you as many options as possible. Now, we're not going to be able to cover everything, but we're going to give you as many of those options as we possibly can. And one of those is right here is a postcard. And so this postcard is designed in this particular size. And if you look here, I'll show you what the size is. Sometimes it will find something that's close, 1800 by 1275. And that is going to print out 300 DPI so that you've got a good print quality image, okay? Very important that you have a good print quality image if you're going to do a print design. And so as we take a look at the print areas under prints, we got all of these options here. And Teespring, by the way, is a t-shirt design, okay? We talked about t-shirt designs last week, but you'll find it under Teespring shirt. And I've been asked a lot, well, where's that t-shirt design? It's under Teespring. Well, what's Teespring? So it's a t-shirt design. So you'll find that right there. Then you've got a lot of other print quality kind of things, and I'll talk about a couple of those in just a second. But right now we're on the postcard, and so I can take this image and I can use it on the postcard. Let me show you where I found that at. And when you go over here to graphics and you go to integrations, we've got some amazing images here. And we're working on these integrations all the time, making them better, getting more images from them, and they're constantly building out their portfolio as well. And so this is a tool that you have with Uzine that is extremely valuable to you. I want you to see something. This is what I did was I typed in fall under stock snap. Okay. That's where I found it at. Then I just typed in fall, so it's going to grab all the images that have to do with fall in here, and so I can do that in stock snap. I can do it in pixels. I can type in fall, and I will get some amazing images here. Not quite the same in search engine in here that you have with, we seem to be having a bit of an issue this morning, but you'll get some of the, and you'll notice that sometimes the search engine is better with some than it is with others. And when that's true, you just keep looking. But I found what I was looking for right there. This is a gorgeous image. Now, I want you to see two things. You have the ability to be able to get that in HD. All right. What an amazing image that is. Do y'all agree with that? Is that not an amazing image or what? I just think that's a beautiful image. And very, very good quality. Okay, I'm getting asked some questions here. Let me take a look at the questions. I apologize for this being it's a little awkward when I can't see the questions without having to look at the other computer. And sometimes my vision is not real good, and so I've got to lean over to read that. And I apologize. Yes, Bill, that's correct. That is correct. Now, remember, you're going to you can't bleed the edges on this, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, just a beautiful, high quality image that's there, and Logan, I'm not sure. You can use what you want, or you can take it to a printer and get it done. If you take it to a printer, this is going to be an amazing image to take to a printer. Now, what I want you to see is that you have the ability to download that. So say I want this image, but I don't need to have it. I don't need to create a design with it. I just want the image. I can click on the download button, takes me right here, and I can save that image. And that's what I did to create the image that you saw when we started. Okay, I just went into Pixabay, or I'm sorry, I actually went into Stock Snap, typed in fall, and grabbed that absolutely gorgeous picture. And it was a gorgeous picture that was there. Click on this. Let's see if we can find that same image again. That's it right there. And I downloaded it. I think these are beautiful images. And I just love the fact that we have that kind of a partnership that gives us the ability to be able to grab those images and use them. Okay. And if you need additional information, there it is, blah, blah, blah. So, but do you understand what we're doing with that? These are some amazing images that give you the ability to be able to use those in your design, to use them on your website, and obviously you can use them in the designs that you have with Usign, but you have the ability to be able to use them as well. And you'll find lots of uses for those. So this is the time of the year that these images really capture people's attention. I love the fall. The colors of the fall are just absolutely gorgeous. So let's go back over here and we'll talk about prints again. But are we clear about these integration partners that I was talking about earlier? Do you understand what we're talking about there? So this makes sense. Let me give you a chance to ask a question. If anybody has a question, feel free to ask right now about these integration partners and what we have going on with them and how you might be able to use those images. I will give you a second to be able to ask a question. And I'll watch because I have to do the two-screen thing. Okay, good question about the logos and the logo tab. Yes, Bill, correct. You can use those for memes and quotes and other things that are really, 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 really popular and get you a lot of attention, likes, shares, and comments. Okay. To answer the question about logos, let's go back over here to our vectors and we'll scroll down where logos are at, because this is what we have right now. Now, keep in mind that it is a mission at Usign to give you branding style tools. All right. And so right now, this is all we have, and this is what is available to you. We will have more. It is a very big part of what we want to do is to create more of these so that you've got more things that you can work with. But understand that that's in the works. So that's not a very good answer to the question, but the answer is yes. You can create your own, and there are some ways that you can do that are pretty amazing. Okay. We've talked about this in most of the times that we've been on the last few weeks, and that is about saving things as groups. And so in answer to your question, the answer is yes, they are available to you. So let's see. In answer to your question about logos, Tyree, if you save that logo, and if you'll notice when I click on this, it's a group. Can you see that? It's a group. Let me change the background here so it's easier, so it stands out a little bit. We'll do a gradient background that makes it easier for this to stand out. So if you can see that right over here on the the design bar, on the menu bar, you'll notice that it says it's grouped. And if you click on the ungroup, now you've got the elements that are taken apart. So you can go in and change those elements to something that would work for you, and then save them as a group, and then that becomes your logo. We can save that as a group. And we've done this a lot. So this is, I want everybody to get very comfortable with this. Go back over the groups, and now I've saved that as a group. Okay, so that's where you save your logo at. Tyree, in response to your question, that's the way you we're going to have more, and we have a few more things that are in the logo design in the works. But that's the way to do that as of right now. So there's some things that you can do there that will be helpful. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. We're looking. I'm trying to read your questions. And you know, John's comes up all the time. All the time. People say, well, I never knew about the group feature. I'm telling you, that is the greatest tool that we have, and it is the least understood. And I just love it. I think it is a great way. And you can see here, this is all the, I just played with these. If I could take this one right here, this was a logo that I had kind of played with a little bit, and that's a group. I saved it as a group. All right. And you'll see that there's some others that I saved as a group, and we can actually use these as logos. And that's where I would save my logo at. And if I need to ungroup those, this one right here, this is actually my tagline, okay? So if I wanted to ungroup that, I could actually I could create this, and I could group this together and save that. Now, I can do some pretty amazing things with that tagline, all right? Because I can pull this over here. Now, if you've ever listened to our Magic Design Formula webinar, you'll know that the tagline may be more important than the logo sometimes. And sometimes you include the logo or you include the tagline in the logo, but then to be able to separate them out. And I can do the same thing that I did before. If I just want this logo, and I can group those together, and I can move them around. And I now have, put those together as a group. I can save them as a group, or I can move them around as a group, and they don't have to stay saved as a group. See, I unsaved that by just simply clicking off of it because I'd never saved it. I just used it to move around with. But, you know, if you've done the Magic Design Formula, then you'll know that what we have right here is our tagline, our logo, a background, and then there's one more element, the most important element of a great design. Does anybody know what it is? I'm looking again here. Okay, hang on. Let me make sure we've got this. May we add additional fonts to Udesigner? Do fonts become available when fonts are added to your PC? And the answer to that question, Bill, is when you add fonts, they become available. And I'll show you where they become available at. Okay. So if I click right here, and I click on the text image. I've gone into the text. I click right here because this question comes up a lot. I scroll down. And this gives me all of the fonts that are built into Udesign. When I get down here, it will tell me in just a minute that I've now entered the system fonts. Okay, these are the fonts that are stored on my computer. Those are the fonts that are stored on my computer. So that's how you add fonts. You add them to your computer, and then they become available under System Fonts. Sounds like the audio is breaking up just a little bit. Stick with me. I'll keep talking. You tell me if it clears up, and I may have to go back and explain what I just said just a minute ago. All right. Are we losing audio? Yes, this was a complaint that we had. So I'm going to stop giving instruction. I'm just going to keep talking. And you tell me if the audio comes back and is available in just a second. Because usually there's about a 1 minute hiccup. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad it's back. Now I'm going to make sure that I didn't miss anything as y'all were telling me that the audio was bad. So hold on a second with me. Let me scroll through this and take a look so we don't miss anybody's question. Okay. All right, I was talking about how do you add fonts. The way you add fonts is that you add them to your computer so they're available inside of your system. And when you scroll down through the fonts from this menu bar right here, when you get down here, it will say System Fonts, and there's where you will find the fonts that are available on your computer. Okay, does that answer your question? And that comes up a lot. That is a frequently asked question. There are a few things that you cannot do with that. Those fonts, there's some issues that we can't always resize that in exactly the same way we can resize the fonts that we have complete control over. Just understand that. We try to give you enough fonts to be able to make that work. Okay, I'm looking at the questions again before the audio got bad, to make sure I don't miss anybody. The question was asked, where are the integrations again? If you go over here to graphics and you use the integration button right there, and there you will find everything that we've talked about here. And each of them have, their own unique little twist. This is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen. A picture of the Northern Lights. Impossible to not have that a little bit fuzzy, but if you've ever seen the Northern Lights, you'll understand just how powerful that really is. It's an amazing image, and you have some of those. So so that will be good. But that's where you find those at. All right, let me look to see if there's any other questions. Make sure we don't miss anything. So those are already, should be in your, yeah, correct. You should have those in your system already. All right, is there anything else? Let's see. Like I said, we're constantly, and I watch and I monitor what goes on inside the Usdesigners Facebook group, and from there I'll frequently see the questions that get asked multiple times, and as you get asked multiple times, I'll try to include those in my webinar, because I want to make sure that we don't miss anything for somebody. Very important that we keep everybody up to speed on the tremendous value that they have by having Usesign as their design program. All right, any other questions? We're getting close to the end and close to where we're going to terminate this now. And so I've given you the tips and tricks. We talked about managing your dashboard. The only thing I have not talked about is PageZine. So if y'all give me just a minute, we'll take a look at that and I'll show you. PageZine is a plugin. So if you go down here and look at the bottom, wait a minute, that was not the one I wanted. If you go, it is a plugin. If you go down here to your installed plugins, you install it as a plugin. There's an order that people seem to have a bit of an issue with, and so I'm going to address that order in particular, and that's all I'm going to do today. But I have taken just a WordPress, self-hosted WordPress site. This is a website of mine, so I put a subdomain on there that is just simply designs.ericsaid.com, and so I've got the Usesign pages right there. So the first thing that you do is you go in and you create pages. That's the very first thing that you do. What do I want to offer to the public? And if there's something that I want to offer to the public, I need to create a page that has to do with that. So if I want to offer to the public business cards, So I create a page by adding a new page. Then I go over to the Usesign pages. And if you don't do it in that order, you're going to run it. You're going to be frustrated. You're not going to understand exactly what's going on. Okay. And then you can come over here and you can take the preset, and this will design this page for you. And we can do a Google cover. And now we're going to drop that Google cover on a, well, I don't do Google covers, so I don't have it there. So let's say, for example, this is going to be a Kindle book, a Kindle cover. And I've got a Kindle page. So now it's basically designed that page for me. Okay. The other thing that you need to remember is this. Down here on the portfolio of previous work, which I call samples, but under the portfolio of previous work or samples, what you want to do is down here where it says portfolio, I need to have an image URL right here. So what I do is, and I'll back out of this, I'll leave that. Under media, I'm going to add a new media image, and I'm going to go to my Usesign dashboard, and I'll go back out here, walk you through this step, because this is really important. I'm watching, so page design is not a theme of its own. No, it is not. It actually fits, it actually is a plugin inside of a WordPress site. So you'll need to have a hosted WordPress site, and you plug that into a basic WordPress. It's not a theme, it's just a design area. So let me grab a Kindle. And Kindle cover right there. So I'm just going to grab a Kindle cover, because this is a template. I have to load it. While it's loading, I'm going to look. What is the size of the template page you want to use Usesign to make for my LPC? I don't know what an LPC is. I'm sorry, Tyree. I'd be glad to answer your question if I knew what that was. Sometimes I get lost in the language, and I don't mean to, but let this thing hiccup just a little bit. Now, while that loads up, lead capture page, I got you. Okay. I wasn't thinking about what you were talking about there as a lead cap. I was thinking design, so I didn't have lead capture on my mind. Let me see if I can follow you. So, what is the size of the lead capture page? All right. The lead, Tyree, I have a, here's the concern that I have, and this is a frequent question about lead capture pages. I'm going to save this design is what I'm doing while I'm doing this. Here's the concern I have. You want to use images. And we get asked that question a lot. Can you create a lead capture page template? Well, you're better off if you use an image inside of a lead capture page with a lead capture page generator or something that generates HTML than to create an entire page that is an image. You'll be a whole lot happier if you do that, I promise. So but that frequently comes up as a question. So this is what I'm going to do. I have downloaded this design, and I'm going to go over here to the media library. I'm going to select that file. That's right there. upload that file. Okay, this is going to be the final thing I'm going to give you this morning. So if you have questions, put those in as quickly as you can. Then you click on the image, and right here's your URL. All right. So I'm going to copy that URL. I'm going to go over here to Usesign Pages. Take the first one, and we're going to talk about Kindle. We're going to put that on a Kindle page because I create the page first, then I do this design. So now I've done that. The next thing I'm going to do is go to the portfolio, and this very first one, which by the way, I'm going to show you what it looks like now. So we'll go down here. This is the very first one right here. I'm now going to drop that image in there from before. Okay. And now you see it switched that image to what I had saved. Does that make sense? Remember that order. Create the pages first, then go in and create the design that you want, but make sure that you use your own designs in here, and this will help you. Okay? Hopefully that answers all your questions. Let's see. Could I get that LPC from Pixabay? I'm not even sure how to answer that question. That's your lead capture page. Again, you want an HTML generator of some type to do that. Any other questions? All right, guys, thank you so much. Yeah, you can't get a lead capture page from Pixabay. Yes, John. By the way, these are actually taken from the templates inside of Usesign. Okay, so you could do that. The answer is yes. Those are already there. Yes, Logan, you can watch this again on either on YouTube, or you can go into the support page, and Rose usually has that up by Monday. I hope I'm saving you from future headaches. I really do. The question Bill is asking is how many different services are available, and they are right here. You click on that down, and that's it right there. Business card, Facebook cover, Google cover, Instagram, Kindle, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter cover, video, and YouTube. Okay? All right. I do not know, Henri, if page design is still available. Again, that's if you have those kinds of questions, the best place to ask them is, let me get over here, I'll show you. The very best place to ask those questions is always going to be right there. That's the best place to ask those questions. Okay? Because if you'll go in there, what you'll find is that you'll get new stuff will pop up here. Like, for example, this was where my little badge came up at. Okay, that was a question that Sam asked earlier. All that stuff is communicated to you right here. This is a powerful tool that Usesign uses to communicate with their people. Okay, that's a great question, Tyree. The fact is that I'm going to be available, so I would love to do it next Friday. Of course, you could always design the pages from scratch for additional services, but the templates would sure make it easier. Yes, this was designed to have those specific things, and the layout was designed for that. Susan, you're right. It was designed for that. You could very easily tweak that a little bit, and I've done it. And I think it's visible here. I've actually created a page because this is what I do. I create a page for landing pages. Okay, and I will tweak a page that will make it fit for landing pages. Logan, thank you. And I will have a wonderful Thanksgiving. But like I said, I have no problem doing this webinar next Friday because I realize that not all of you will be celebrating Thanksgiving in the United States like we will. And I just love doing this. Okay. I really do. So I want to be able to be here. It's named Conversations in the Uzine, right? I'm not sure what you're asking. Okay, folks, that's it for me for the day. And I really, really appreciate your attention. You, as always, are a wonderful audience. You're the ones who make this possible. You're the one who makes this special. And it is your questions, it's your interest, it's your designs, it's your involvement. It's you that makes this work. So, as always, have a great weekend, and I'll look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.